Welcome back to the Deadology Podcast from Pencil Hill Studio, New Paltz, New York. I'm your host, Howard Weiner, and today is episode 17 of the podcast. It's November 29th, 2023, and we're going to Jerry Garcia Band land for this episode. We're coming up on the 40th anniversary of a great show I saw at the Kean College in Union, New Jersey. It was on December 13th of 83. And that led me to think, hey, why don't I just do the entire podcast on the best shows I've seen at Kean. Well, I didn't see all the shows, but the best shows at Kean College, Wilkins Theater. Special place, attendance, seating capacity of 953. One of the coolest places I ever seen Jerry Garcia in. It wasn't exquisite like the Beacon Theater, but yet it was cool, intimate. Just great sound in that place. One of the most exciting. It was just so exciting to be in there. It was like the air was fresher in this place, Wilkins Theater. Man, it was special. And Garcia Band played there in 1980. Those two shows, the early and late show, were captured on the awesome After Midnight CD, a 3D set, which came out in 2004. And then they played there in November. The 1980 show is February 28th. 2 years later, they returned to Kean College. By the way, it's now Kean University. It has graduated, stepped up to Kean University. But it was on November 15th, 82. They played two shows there, two very solid shows. And then a year later, on December 13th, they played their final shows in Wilkins Theater, early late show, and the late show was the standout from those two shows. So we're going to look at the 280 shows and the late show from 83. So 1980, February 1980, probably one of the greatest months in Jerry Garcia Band history. At the time, the tour started in, with the band he had at the time, it started in late 1979. Obviously, John Conn's on bass, Ozzy Allers on synthesizer keyboards, and Johnny DeFoncesa Jr. on drums. After this particular tour, which ended out west, I think it was March 8th, in San Francisco, Johnny died in a car accident, so this is his last hurrah in the music world. And Ozzy Allers, this was after this tour, he did another tour, and that was it. Pretty much, Melvin Seals took over after that. So it's an unusual band, but very memorable because in February of 1980, the Jerry Garcia Band rocked. And this After Midnight CD, the 3 CD set that came out in 2004, is just a great example of how good they were in that month. It may not be the best show of that tour, but it was probably the best representation that they could get on CD. It happened to be recorded in great, pristine soundboard quality, which makes that After Midnight such a desirable listen. I think there's probably a few, like the Oswego show from February 17, 1980. I think that's my favorite. Might be a little hotter. But this particular show was just a perfect choice to put out on CD because all the songs are played so consistently, and just the excellence of the audio quality made it like a no-brainer as far as a CD release. If I was having a party and I had to play Jerry Garcia Band for people and I couldn't go song to song like a DJ, I just had to put some CDs in the shuffle mix. I would pick two things. I would pick the Keystone. I would definitely put a couple of Keystone 73 CDs in there with Merle Saunders. And then I would take a couple of CDs from this. After Midnight, it's that good. It's up there. It's Keystone quality. To me, these are the two best official releases, probably any kind of release for the Jerry Garcia Band. So let's jump into that night, February 28th, 1980. They open up with three great Garcia Band classics: Sugary, Catfish John, That's What Love Will Make You Do. I don't know what kind of three-song combo you could come up with that's better than that, but that's, yeah, they were in heaven in Union, New Jersey, in the Wilkins Theater on that night, February 28th. Man, what a great three-song start. And then the band is just ripping from the beginning. I wouldn't put any of these versions like in a greatest ever category, but they're above average, which means they're great. Below average means very good. It's something has to be below average and something has to be above average. These are definitely above average versions, but nothing that would be in the greatest ever conversation. And today, as I listened to this once again. I listened to probably this After Midnight CD more than anything else, probably even more than Keystone for whatever reason. There's just something about this. You got Garcia and Kean. You could hear them so clearly on this recording. This really is pure Jerry Electric, because you got Garcia and Kean, Ozzy, and a drummer. As I was thinking about this podcast this afternoon, I'm listening to Sirius Radio. I got Willie's Roadhouse on, and wouldn't you know it, Johnny Russell's Catfish John pops up there. And I'm like, yes, man, such a great song. And this was like the genius of Jerry Garcia. He would find these great songs. To be honest, most of us deadheads would never know of Catfish John if Garcia hadn't covered it. So Garcia had this way of just like hearing a great song and saying, I could bring this into my world, into the Grateful Dead Jerry Garcia universe, and spread the love to people. And he did this with so many tunes. The song after this, That's What Love Will Make You Do, Little Milton. Great blues tune. Another thing that a lot of us may have never had the chance to love if Garcia hadn't, had the brilliant taste to pick these songs and expand on them in concert, man. And that's part of what makes any artist great, is being able to hear the beauty in other music and to expand upon it. And boy, did Jerry take these versions, Catfish John from Johnny Russell's excellent version, to take it into a different 12-minute sphere and to make it maybe even draw you in more than that 4-minute version. It's an incredible thing. And Jerry Garcia Band should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. John Kean should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think Jerry Garcia could be put in as a solo artist, but he really should be in there with the Jerry Garcia Band, because there's few American bands that are anything like the Jerry Garcia Band that have entertained so many people for so many years and definitely have been underrated. So we got the great Sugary, Catfish, That's What Love Will Make You Do, all good versions to get this show going. And then Jerry just throws that beautiful hypnotic twist. We got a rockin' show, and then a simple twist of fate. 17 minutes of just that really melancholy feel of Dylan's song, really digging in. And you got John Kean's great bass, spine-tingling solo in there. Even though it was slow and it was long, man, Garcia just did such an amazing job on that simple twist of fate. And then you would follow up with How Sweet It Is, the most played Jerry Garcia Band tune. And this version here is pretty good, but I definitely like the more soulful feel when either like Merle's playing back in the day in the early 70s, or Melvin, and you got the backup singers. Here you got no backup singers, and so it's a good version, but it's definitely it works best with a more soulful feeling. but this was like setting up. So far, we have a great show, 5 songs. It was just like the perfect setup for an avalanche of just incredible music. Probably the best thing the Jerry Garcia Band ever invented. Followed How Sweet It Is. The masterpiece that closes out the early show. My favorite Jerry Garcia thing ever. Jerry Garcia Band. I would have done anything to see one of these. I never even seen an After Midnight. But After Midnight, Eleanor Rigby, After Midnight. So you got like that, the Grateful Dead segueing going on there in the Jerry Garcia Band. And After Midnight, just by itself, is such a powerful Jerry Garcia song. And then to take Eleanor Rigby in the middle, split it up, it just brought more power to the end and more focus on how great the end of After Midnight is. It's anybody who loves Jerry Garcia Band, this is the holy grail. After Midnight, Eleanor Rigby, After Midnight. And I interviewed Ozzy Allers when I wrote my book, Positively Garcia. I think I wrote that about 10 years ago. It's a book I wrote about the best Jerry Garcia Band shows ever. And the Oswego show was actually the one I put in the book. And I also put like the Kean 83 Late Show in there. But when I was speaking, we were talking about the Eleanor Rigby, how that came about. And he credited John Conn because John Conn was such a great jazz buff. And it was like a big goof to the band at the time when they used to do this. They used to like laugh about how they were jazz players when they would break into the Eleanor Rigby. But so in the Stone Theater on January 20th, 1980, that was the first time they did the After Midnight, Eleanor Rigby After Midnight. And on that night, it was more of like a tease. They just kind of threw out the line. So it was called Eleanor Rigby, but it was just almost, it was like they played around with it more than it was actually an Eleanor Rigby. But right after that, they developed it. And it turned out to be an insane little 4 or 5 minute jam. This one from the Kean Theater, it should be played on jazz stations with you hear a lot of different great Eleanor Rigbys. You hear one by Stanley Jordan, and does a great one. This one from the Jerry Garcia Band, Kean Theater, nothing like it. It should be there and being played on jazz stations. But so it's so on this one, like they do a great midnight. They're rocking out, and that road to Eleanor Rigby is just, it's incredible. The Oswego show I'm talking about, I think, has the best Eleanor Rigby, just Garcia's off the hooks going into it and going out to it like segue heaven. But this one from the Kean Theater is more perfect. They just glide into it so nicely. It's a perfect version. And then when Garcia goes double time, it's like, wow, how does a band do this? So instead of trying to talk about it anymore, here's where Garcia takes a double time in the Eleanor Rigby. And obviously this is an audience recording, not the After Midnight soundboard, the official release, but it's great quality. It just goes to show you the awesome audio dynamics in the Wilkins Theater. That's gorgeous. All the lonely people. And then they segue back into After Midnight. And it's so cool the way the Garcia Band does this, Jerry. He just very kind of softly sings that last After Midnight because he's going to let his guitar do all the talking. And it made the finale of After Midnight so much more dramatic when they used to play After Midnight straight through. But when you had the little Rigby break, it just brought such a dramatic flourish to the ending of After Midnight. And the reprise here, this is the best one. No other. They did this 7 times, the After Midnight, Rigby After Midnight, between January and I believe March 8th of 1980 was the last time they played it. This one from the Kean Theater is nuts. Jerry just he goes off and he did a great jam and you think it's over. And all of a sudden he's like James Brown. It ain't over, man. Steve Parrish, bring out the cape, man, because Jerry Superman, he just kept playing through these endings on this particular version. It would seem like it's reaching an end, and somehow he would create a bridge to another amazing crescendo. And even when it's finally over and they're hitting the last notes, he's still like wringing every bit of energy out of the guitar. This is like a definitive Jerry Garcia rock god classic moment. So once again, my words ain't gonna do it any justice. Here is Senor Garcia. Oh, what a beautiful world. Garcia en Fuego. February 28th, 1980, Wilkins Theater, Kean College, Union, New Jersey. And there was more. There was a late show. That was a cool thing about seeing Garcia Band, Garcia Acoustic, the early late show thing. It was like you got to go to both. There's no like we're gonna go to the late show and skip the. It was you were in for both shows, man, because they'll both be great. Usually the late show would have a little more substance, but on this occasion in Kean Theater, the early show was killer. And the second show came close, maybe not as great, but it was pretty damn close. So late show, open up with "I'll Take a Melody." For me, this is the best version ever of "I'll Take a Melody," man. What a way to start. Jerry is singing so beautiful on this, and just the guitar work. It's like the hottest "I'll Take a Melody" you'll ever want to hear. Yeah, this one's definitely number one for me. There's a lot of great ones out there. I love when Melvin Seals comes in. They do the little reggae thing and on future versions, but this one, it's just pure Jerry, almost up there with a guitar, pulling off a song by himself. And yeah, also I would like to just mention that Ozzy Allers did a pretty damn good job in his time with the Garcia Band. This tour, and then he did the following tour, and he's a little bit maligned. I mean, he's got like a synthesizer sound. A lot of times he would kind of follow Garcia's leads, almost like mimic what he did in some ways. And okay, he's not Merle Saunders, he's not Melvin Seals. It wasn't the exact match that we love for the Jerry Garcia Band, but I think he did a pretty damn good job, and you could hear it throughout this thing. I never got a lot of the criticism with him. He is who he is, and he brought like a lot of great effort into the band. So I'm a fan of Ozzy's. But hey, when Melvin took over, that guy was the real deal, the right fit for the Jerry Garcia Band. So moving forward after the great "I'll Take a Melody," "Tore Up Over You." Another great song from Reflections, that 1974 album. This 1980 tour, you got the best versions of "Tore Up," and this one's right up there. I think the one from UMass on February 20th is the best version of "Tore Up" that I've ever heard, but this one is close. So you're the late show in Kean Theater on this night, a best ever version of "Melody," followed by a close to best ever version of "Tore Up." It's crazy how good this is. So things are totally trending in the right direction here. Third song of the set, I'm not looking at I should be looking at the set list, but I believe the third song is "Knocking on Heaven's Door." This is one, for all the great songs that Jerry Garcia Band, we just complimented Catfish John, "That's What Love Will Make You Do," Midnight, Rigby. Garcia did yeoman's work for covers and bringing other songs in the spotlight. "Knocking on Heaven's Door," I'd be at a Jerry Garcia Band show and they'd break into it, I'd be like, okay. It never got me that excited. This is a pretty good version, but I just don't think the Jerry Garcia Band versions never, it's one song where underperform might be the wrong word, but just never the Garcia standard of excellence for making a cover version that more enticing. For me, it never worked with "Knock on Heaven's Door," even though this is a pretty cool version, as most of them are. Just wasn't a song that I got all that excited about seeing. But the next song up, "Harder They Come," was always killer when Garcia Band did it. Great version here. Even though it definitely could have benefited from the Melvin Seals, the soulful, and the backup singers. But yeah, this is a very cool version of "Harder They Come." So right at the first four songs, this is like almost an hour of music. You got "Melody," "Tore Up," "Knocking on Heaven's Door," and "Harder They Come." Just, hey, this Union, New Jersey was in heaven on this night, man. February 28th. Memorable night for obviously anyone who's there, especially if they caught the early show. And then this is where it really gets touching. The type of person Jerry Garcia was. He split when he played with whatever Garcia Band. His name was on the marquee, but he never took more money. He split everything equally with the guys he was playing with, and this has been told, in many different. There's many different accounts of this. But when I interviewed Ozzy Allers, he said this not only for the tour, but any album that would come out in the future, like this After Midnight album, Garcia did an equal split, which is so unusual. It's just such a generous guy. And the reason I'm bringing this whole generosity thing is Robert Hunter was down on his luck a little bit at this time. Jerry invited him along to make some money, come join us, play some tunes. He opened up a few of these shows, and he brought him on stage at this point after Harder They Come. And they did Tiger Rose and Promontory Rider. And I'm so glad this was captured on the After Midnight CD, because this is, this is probably the coolest Hunter thing ever recorded. I mean, he's got some great albums out there, but to hear the Tiger Rose and Promontory Rider, I just want to jump up and dance every time. These are such great versions to hear Garcia Band playing these songs and bringing the most out of it. And Jerry's just fully into it, and the band is fully behind Hunter. And hey, Tiger Rose, Tiger T, Tiger Rose, and Promontory Rider, Step Off, and this is so cool. These two songs fit right in with the Jerry Garcia Band. There was like no let up. It was almost like an uplift to the show to have Hunter out there to play these songs. So a couple of great songs follow. We got 6 songs into the late show, and then as if Jerry's saying thank you, Robert Hunter, for all you've done for the Grateful Dead and the Jerry Garcia Band. He plays Mission in the Rain, which is kind of Hunter's almost biographical tribute to Jerry Garcia's life up to that point. So beautiful to hear that, like after the Hunter songs, man, just perfect, man. Great for this official release. And there was no encores at either show on this, but both these shows are just stocked with like the way the songs are lined up, just perfect. And then after Cool Mission in the Rain, Midnight Moonlight. It's such a bittersweet song, it's celebratory. You want to dance, you want to go swing dancing, and it's the greatest celebration. But there is a little bit of bittersweetness to every time I heard Midnight Moonlight, it meant the show is over. So, yeah, so that's the way they closed the late show here. Very close to the early show, but this 3D set, this After Midnight, such a great representation, such a choice thing for the Jerry Garcia Band. One of the great albums. Jerry Garcia Band should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for sure. And if we need any further proof of that, we're going to move to the next show 3 years later, The Late Show, Kean College, December 13th, 1983. I'll share my little personal tale with you from that December 13th day in 83. So on that tour, great tour. So just to backtrack a second, 1983 was an incredible year for the Jerry Garcia Band. The best Garcia Band tour I saw was that summer tour where they played Cape Cod. I didn't see that show, but that's one of my all-time favorites. The 2 Roseland shows, they played the Chance. These were in June of 83. That's the peak of the Jerry Garcia Band experience for me. His guitar playing was nuts. Everything was just, Jerry just, at this point in his life, it's like all he had, man. He poured everything into being in the moment on stage and playing guitar. And these November, December shows were almost on that level, but not quite. But to be the second best tour, or the third, whatever you want to call it. Very great shows. There's a cool soundboard tape from November 25th, 83 from Cleveland. I'd recommend checking that one out. Then he came east I saw him in the Angora Ballroom in Hartford, November 30th. I believe the date was for that, 83. Stony Brook, December 4th of that tour. That was almost right up. It's pretty much right up there with the Kean show I'm about to talk about. It just amazing. I think they did like a Don't Let Go, Deal, Rhapsody in Red, Tangled Up in Blue, but it was all like medley style, man. It was that Stony Brook show was monumental. So that was December 4th. They're playing shows in between, but these are the ones I caught. December 9th, Beacon Theater. That was the first time in my life I was in the Beacon Theater. I was like fourth row for the Jerry Garcia Band. Early, late, man. You got to be there early, late. There's no other choice. Another great show. Capitol Theater, I think the date was the 11th. We were there early, late. John Scher's House of Pleasure, man. They brought in Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead so many times over the years. Then I believe they went up to, going over the top of my head here, I think they were in Oswego after that night. They did like a crazy road trip, and they came all the way back to Kean College. So I'm not even sure we were going to the Kean College show that day. Me and my friend Perry were discussing it. We found out about it. We didn't have tickets. So I think Perry called up the box office and they had tickets available. I actually drove down to the Kean Theater like around noon, bought our tickets because it's 953 seats. You know it's going to sell out at least the day of the show. I have no idea when it was announced, what was going on, but somehow there were tickets available. So I picked up tickets for the early and late show the day of the show. 953 seats and tickets were available. I jolted right down there. I got the tickets, came back. On the way down, we took my friend Doug. I think there might have been another person in the car. Freaking 40 years ago. I'm doing my best to remember, but this was such a memorable night for so many reasons. So we get down there before the early show, hanging out. My friend Doug's packs a bowl of weed. We're standing outside this beautiful theater. We're actually like in the hallways of the theater. I'm looking at a Jersey policeman standing not too far away. Doug lights up a bowl. I didn't have a right feeling about it, and I didn't even feel like getting high at the time, which is unusual in 83 because I was a freaking chimney of marijuana smoke back in the day. I would always smoke. I would never turn down a bowl, but I turned it down, and about 2 minutes later, the cop came over and arrested my friend Doug. And this guy loves Garcia. I mean, they could have slapped any kind of fine on him, whatever. Just the fact that they took him away and put him in jail for smoking a bowl, he was going to miss at least the early show for the Jerry Garcia Band. It was incredible. It was tragic, man. It was I couldn't believe it happened, but no, they took him away. So we go into the show, early show, a decent show, but it definitely wasn't a great show. Jerry almost seemed a little tired. 6 or 7 songs, encore. Nothing was spectacular. A good version of Second That Emotion, Deal. But when I visited my friend Doug between shows, I'm like, we were trying to get him out. We thought we'd get him out for the late show. They wouldn't let him out. There was a whole bail thing going on. So, we were like, hey, man, you didn't miss anything. Don't worry. Unfortunately, I couldn't tell him the same thing after the late show. They didn't let him out. They let him out like after midnight or something. I don't know what the hell they were doing, why they had this guy in jail, and they couldn't release him, it's so bizarre. But we had to leave him in there for the late show, so he missed the late show. This late show, just everything you would ever want to hear, Garcia Band played that night. So they open up with Cats Under the Stars, and Cats Under the Stars is the story of 1983 for the Jerry Garcia Band. So they come out with the album in 1978. To me, it's the greatest, well, obviously it's the greatest Jerry Garcia's band studio album. Just it's a brilliant work. It ranks up there with the best of the Grateful Dead studio albums, I think. They just really hit it on that album. Everything from the great songs to the way it was recorded in the studio and the fact that the Jerry Garcia Band recorded it. So, but the weird thing is when they were playing these songs in 1978, When Garcia got back to tour, he did I forget the name of the band in '79. He played with. It skips my mind at this time. But then they came back in 1980. It was like they didn't even recognize the songs. The only song from Cats Under the Stars is kind of stuck in the rotation, but wasn't even played that much, was Love in the Afternoon. And it's such a powerful album. I'm just wondering how those songs didn't make it into the rotation in 80, 81, 82. But in 83, Garcia had some kind of revelation like, God damn, we got to get back to these Cats Under the Stars songs are incredible. So they brought them all, brought most of them back into the rotation. Cats Under the Stars, Gomorrah, Love in the Afternoon was played more often, and the big one, Rhapsody in Red, which was just a killer tune. But so they start off the Late Show with Cats Under the Stars, and that always brought great joy to the crowd. It's such a great song, man. That is like the Jerry Garcia Band song almost. It's like Where After Midnight's the classic masterpiece, just the song that's symbolic of the Jerry Garcia Band. And you just picture the Cats Under the Star logo, and you hear that tune, Cats in the Limelight, feels like it's all right. So such great lyrics, and Cats Under the Stars is the embodiment of the Jerry Garcia Band. So they open up with a very cool Cats Under the Stars, and there's nothing like a cat's catfish, man, right into the Catfish John. And this version is just, man, it was like, this is rocking. This is like, Melvin Seals is there pounding it out. Khan's doing his thing. You got the backup singers. They got the little kind of calypso shuffle going on in the middle. It's just a much more advanced version than the one that was on the After Midnight 3 years earlier. And once again, very hot. Once again, instead of me trying to describe it, here is a hunk of that catfish fillet from December 13th, 1983. Mama said, don't go near that river. Don't be hanging around. Old Catfish John. Good stuff, man. And then this is one of those nights. Every song is falling into place. Garcia's tapped into that surreal magic. Next song, Someday Baby, bringing us back to the Keystone. And this was rarely played at this point. I think we saw it at the Beacon a few nights earlier, but this might have been like the second time I ever seen Someday Baby. And man, Garcia was just on a roll, man. The guitar work on this is just crazy. It was probably the best song of the night, Someday Baby. Garcia just ripping the blues soulfully. And if you want to hear some of these versions, my best advice would be go to the YouTube page, my Positively Garcia page. I know I've uploaded the Cats, the Catfish, and the Someday Baby. And I think there's also somebody else uploaded the whole show in one shot. So definitely worth checking this out. I wrote about this show as one of the greatest in my Positively Garcia book, which kind of talks about the best shows from 1972 through 1984, which is a different period in Jerry Garcia Band than what moved forward. I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, but a different set of songs, and there was definitely more focus on Garcia's guitar work in this period. So a spectacular version of Someday Baby, and then it's back to Cats Under the Stars, Love in the Afternoon, Twilight Time with a Kingston Lady. So they're going from some cool Garcia California blues right into that funky Love in the Afternoon. Definitely get that reggae kind of little shuffle going. It feels like a chock full of nuts commercial. If you ever saw that in the 70s, it might be dating some people here, but it just like this crazy music that no other band could even imagine tapping into. So it's Love in the Afternoon, and then just once again this switch in tempo to close out the set with Tangled Up in Blue. And this one they rip. I mean, Garcia's just tearing it up. Brought all the energy after the Love in the Afternoon, the nice little spiritual break in the music into just like a killer version of Tangled Up in Blue to end the set. So I never seen a set like that. The songs lined up. So it was one of those nights where everything's just rolling the way you want it to roll. And the Late Show, we got two sets here. More common to get two sets in the Late Show than the first show. It didn't happen at the After Midnight show. They just played one set. But this was like Garcia was like, this was the last show of this Garcia Band tour, and Garcia wanted to close it out with a huge night. So set 2 opens up with Rhapsody in Red. My God, this song, we only got to see it in 83 and 84. I think they may have played it in 85, but it might have been out west. But just such a great tune, man. And every time when they first started playing it, I wasn't too familiar with Cats Under the Stars. My Grateful Dead record collection didn't include Cats Under the Stars at the beginning. So some of these songs were, if they weren't played by Garcia Band and Garcia Band tapes, I didn't know them too well. So I'm at a 1983 show and they're playing Rhapsody in Red for the first time I ever heard it. And I was a little disappointed that it wasn't Let It Rock, because Let It Rock is such a killer tune. And it's the same chord riff going into it. And then they break into that Rhapsody lick. But man, did I learn to love Rhapsody. When they open up with the second set of Rhapsody here at Kean Theater, I'm going out of my mind. I'm like, yes, man, such a great tune. And this is a Cats Under the Stars night. So you got the Cats opener, you got Love in the Afternoon. Second set opens up with Rhapsody, and Garcia's just on a tear like he was in Tangled Up in Blue. Unflinching blues, rock, just the greatest guitarist in the world moving forward with like, as only Jerry can. And then he settles it down again, man. He's like, let's get back into that spiritual realm, man. Gomorrah, but keeping it in Cats Under the Stars. So at this point in the show, we're about 5 in the first set, 2 in the second set, 4 of the 7 songs are Cats Under the Stars. So this was like a total tribute to the greatest album Jerry Garcia Band ever did, but they never played enough of the songs on it. This night is they did it, man. This is the Cats Under the Stars night. Garcia is the stripper, stripping time out of mine for you. But Gomorrah, man, that song, every single time I hear it, like I'll be listening to the Grateful Dead channel, just the studio version will come on. Man, I just like it. It draws me in. It's such a great tune. The biblical story, just the song of Gomorrah. The wife of Lot got turned to salt because she looked behind, and just hearing the vocal exchanges between Jerry and whoever the female backing singer is, whether it's live or in the studio. Brilliant stuff, man. Love Gomorrah. And this is like I said, this is the type of night where you're getting everything you want to get. You're not going to get a knocking on heaven's door here. They went right for the jugular. Don't Let Go. And outside of After Midnight, Rigby, Midnight, Don't Let Go might be the next best, thing to catch as far as the ultimate Jerry Garcia Band experience. And they rocked this one pretty good. I like the one from Stony Brook 5 days earlier. That one that is like totally up tempo and crazy. But yeah, this one gets a good jam going. And Kean and Jerry just got like these riffs, just jazzy, crazy riffs going. Where whoever wrote "Don't Let Go," it skips my mind right now. I know it was a hit in the 50s. I apologize for not having that info on me. But whoever wrote the song, they could never imagine that it would get out there like this. So that they're going into like this crazy jazz land, 15, 20 minutes in, and then it's been a long tour. Jerry's voice is a little hurting. They zip into Midnight Moonlight. And once again, that bittersweet, it's over, man, but you don't want it to be over. This Jerry Garcia Band was so cool, and for the next 10 years, it would almost be the same lineup. On the background vocals, you got Jacqueline LaBranche, Gloria Jones, obviously the incomparable John Kahn, Melvin Seals. Man, love that guy, man. He's the keeper of the flame, man, the living heart of the Jerry Garcia Band right now, still out there doing his thing. David Kemper on drums, man, and what a great job he did for the Garcia Band for so many years. But yeah, that's it. Late show, Kean Theater, another beauty for this crowd in Union, New Jersey. It's just amazing how these Jerry rolling into town just makes certain places immortal by playing there. And this was 6 shows to die for. 3 of them are truly legendary, the After Midnight shows, and this one from December 13th, 1983. All right, that's it for episode 17 of the Deadology podcast. Jerry Garcia Band goes wild in Kean College in the early 80s, 1980 and 1983. Thanks for listening, folks. My name is Howard Weiner. Positively Garcia, Reflections of the JGB, Volume 1, available on Amazon and my website, Tangled Up in Tunes. I got a whole other plethora of books, the Deadology books, all that stuff. But the Jerry Garcia Band book, I got a nice Ozzy Allers interview in there, and my reflections on seeing the Garcia Band, as well as what I believe are the 13 best Jerry Garcia Band shows from that time period. And I'll be back next week. I have a definite plan for next week, 50th anniversary of a 73 show from Cleveland, that great Cleveland show. I keep that one keeps growing on me more and more, and I can't wait to jump into that next week, December 6th, 1973, 50th anniversary. Once again, thanks for listening. Praise be the Jerry Garcia Band. Peace out.